Hi everyone, it's Ephraim here from Past Point One Comics. Before I go any further, if you're new to my channel, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you're one of my regular viewers, thanks again. Whomever watches my videos, I always appreciate them. I hope you enjoy them. Before I go any further, hit that like, subscribe, and notification button if you want to be notified of it when I come out with new videos. So before I get to the subject on hand for today, I got some new comic books today. Just a few I want to show you. The first one is King in Black, Return of the Valkyries #1. This cover is by Art Germ or Stanley Lau. His name is Stanley Lau, but he also goes by Art Germ. I really like this cover, and I was looking to buy a virgin copy of it, but it was quite expensive. So I said, nah, never mind. So I just stuck with the original one with writing on it. The next two are, I'm always liking Scotty Young books, so whenever I see them, I have to grab them. I just like the way he draws these little caricatures, these like kid versions of the comic books. And this is another Return of the Valkyries. And the next one is, like I said, is by Scotty Young too, is the Eternals #1. I think in my previous video, I did mention there were so many Eternals #1 that came out, over 20 of them. I was not going to buy all of them. I just picked a few. And one of them is Scotty Young book. And my last three are the new Star Wars series that came out. Is grabbing everybody's attention. Star Wars: The High Republic. All these books that I'm showing you right now, I ordered them about 3 months ago. The company that I buy them from, Gmart Comics, and I'm going to mention them. That's part of my topic for today. I ordered them about 3 months ago, and they came in today. So here we go. This is the first one. And they're all issue #1. Obviously by various artists. And they weren't variants. These were just normal ones that you could buy, for a good price. Here's the next one. And I bought this last one that I bought 3 of them. I just really liked the cover because it had Yoda in it. So I had to have them. So I bought 3 of them. I wish I would have bought more now. They're really hot right now, selling wise. And here's the other 2 that I bought from them, from that cover. Like I said, I didn't have many. I did have some more, but I just want to show you a few, before I go on to the topic. So my topic for today is how to buy comic books online, if you want to buy comic books online. When I was growing up in the Bay Area, I've mentioned this in previous videos, I would always go to a comic book store by my neighborhood, or around the corner there was a liquor store who had a comic book spindle, and I would just buy comic books there. And the comic book stores, as I got older, when I was able to drive, there were other comic book stores around the San Francisco Bay Area, and I would go to them to buy comic books. That's fine and dandy. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure there are plenty of people who still go there. But for myself, I just kind of organically started buying comic books online. I didn't plan on doing it. About over 10 years ago, I just started Googling comic books for sale, and then it started taking me to all kinds of different stores who sell comic books online. There's a lot. And if you just Google that, you'll be overwhelmed with how many, there are out there. And I just started going through each one, little by little. They had a website. I would go on the website. I would see what the perks were, if it fit my needs. And I tried a couple of them, and they were okay. But the main one, the one I've been going to for buying like 99% of my regular comic books, and I've mentioned them before in the past, and all of these comic books that I just showed came from this store, is Gmart Comics. They're based in Chicago, Illinois. I just started buying it from them, and like I said, it's been going on for over 10 years. And I did my, I just didn't go, hey, I want to get them from them, and that's it. I did my I checked them out to see, if they fit my needs, and what they had to offer. Like I said before, perks. One of the big ones is they offer 35% discount on basically every comic book. And as much as I like going to local comic book stores around me, I just haven't found any of them that offer 35% discount. So that's a big selling point for me. I mean, I try to gain this, from it's my money, and I want to spend it wisely. And to me, this was the best way to go. Another thing that they have offering for you is free shipping. But the free shipping, you have to wait until they have $85 worth of your comic books ready to ship, and then they ship them out to you. You can ask for Gmart. You can ask them to ship them earlier if you want the comic books right away, but that's going to cost you for shipping. But they will charge you for shipping for that, and also they also ship with bags and boards, which is extra. You have to pay for that, but they pay for it, so they charge you a little bit extra for that. So that's the main reason I chose them, and like I said, I've been going to them for over 10 years now, and it's just ease of use. I communicate with them on a regular basis. I'm not sure if they always like hearing from me, but I send them emails if I'm missing a book. Hey, I want to get this one. Can you order it for me? And they get back to me within a day or even less than a day. Yeah, we have it. We'll pull it for you. Another reason that I go, but those are the main reasons why I go to them. But there's pros and cons for everything. Some of the cons is you have to wait for your comic books. There's no way for that. They're based in Chicago, and I'm here in California. So if I want them right away, the gratification of having a comic book when they come out on Wednesdays is just not there. That's why I go to some local stores every now and then. If I want a comic book right away, if they have it, I'll try to get it. But if they don't, I mean, that's just the way it is. And another con is you can't choose the comic book. When you go to a local comic book store, you're able to look at the comic book and see if there's anything wrong with it, if there's any creases or breaks in the color or anything like that. With these companies that I use and other people use, you just don't have that available. The option is not available. They pick comic books for you, and then they put them in they send them to you. But that being said, I've never, I think maybe once, didn't like a comic book that they sent me. It had a crease on it, and it might not even have been their fault. They get shipped from one state to another, and when it comes to shipping, United Postal Service, FedEx, UPS, you're at their mercy. So you don't know what could happen in between. But gosh, 99.9% of the comic books that I've gotten from them have been, to me, really good. So that's a plus. And like I said, there were other stores out there also. There's Midtown Comics, to name one. And another one that I use is TFAW. I like them because, say a comic book comes out and then they have a second printing of that book. They usually have them on their website right away, so I order them at a discount also. I also use Gmart, and I also use TFAW and other ones too. I like to spread my money around, so to speak. So that's why I started getting into them, and I just don't go to comic book stores around my house that much anymore. That's like I said, but this is my preference. This is what I decided to do. Another thing that became available within the last few years, I would say the last 4 or 5 years, is buying comic books on social media. I was on Facebook, and I started just putting in under search title comic books, and there are so many people who sell comic books on Facebook, but they also have their own websites. But they have, like, they mention their books on social media and how to buy them. And a lot of times you can buy them on Facebook itself, or they have a link to their website. One of the first ones that I found was the Comic Mint. Everybody. Oh, by the way, whomever I mentioned, well, I'll have a link to the description. I'll have a link to their website in the description below me. So one of the first ones that I found was the Comic Mint, and their niche, so to speak, is they sell like variant copies of comic books. Sometimes they sell regular comic books, like the ones that comic book stores sell. They give you like a group discount, but they also sell variant comic books, and that's where everybody draws their attention. For example, there's one they're going to be selling today, and I'll put a picture of it up here also. that everybody wants. It's a variant of Star Wars: The High Republic, and it's a hot book. So he's going to be selling them at about 4 p.m. my time here. So I got to be done before then, so I can see if I can get them. But they sell a lot of books online on Facebook. Hey, you want it? Just say claim or go or on our website. We'll give you a link. They have a group called the Comic Mint, but they also have the Comic Mint Insiders, and you have to kind of get into that group. It's a separate group where they give a discount to their regular website, and they have a limited amount of people who can go on there. So they also sign artists to draw a specific book just for them, or maybe a few other companies, and then they sell them. There could be a limit of 500 of them, or 1,000 or 3,000, depending on what they want to do. Another one that I found was on Facebook was Frankie's Comics. That's another really good site. He always has top-notch comic books that he's selling. He has contacts. He sells them, like he gets in touch with an artist. Hey, I want you to draw a book for me for a specific book, like Amazing Spider-Man. Draw this cover for me. And I'm just selling it through Frankie's Comics. So, you go through them and then you purchase them. He has his own website also. Let me see. There are so many of them too. There's a Beach Bum Comics. If you looked at my last video, the CGC books that I got were from them. I'm sorry. They facilitated the signing of those books. So you go through them, but they also sell comic books online. Another one from Facebook is Trinity Comics. I found them on Facebook, I don't know, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. What I really like about them is they sell comic books. They sell variant comic books, hard to find comic books, but they also go to conventions for you. Say if you can't go to a convention like San Diego Comic Con. I'm fortunate because I live in San Diego, so I'm able to go to that convention. But there are times when I can't go to a convention, and Matt is the owner of Trinity Comics. Him and the people that work with him, they go to comic book conventions, and they post, like they're at a convention like day one, hey, this book is for sale right now. Who wants it? Then you just say claim, and then they give you an invoice later on. And these are comic books that are only sold at this certain comic book convention. So if I can't go, he's there and he'll grab them for anybody who wants them. There's a certain amount that he can grab, obviously, but there's a lot of other people out there who want these comic books also. So he says, hey, I have 5 available. Who wants them? And of course, he, whatever the comic book is worth at a comic book convention, say it's worth $15, they have to charge a little bit more because they are doing the legwork, so to speak. I've seen Matt at San Diego Comic Con, and he earns every bit of his money. Okay, he hustles getting comic books that everybody wants. So that's one way, his way of getting comic books. But also they do signature series where, say, you can't make a convention and you want it signed by a certain artist. You send him your books ahead of time, and he's a facilitator for CGC, and which that means is he gets it signed by CGC, and it's all authenticated, so you get that yellow label from CGC. So he gets, hey, say you wanted a book signed by Jim Lee, and he can get together with Jim Lee and his people and do a signing, and they sign the books for them, and then he takes care of sending them to CGC, and then eventually you'll get him back. And one thing about going through Trinity Comics, or anybody who does this, you have to have patience. You can't get your comic books if they're getting CGC'd and encapsulated. You just can't get them right away. That's just not the way it works. I mentioned Beach Bum Comics, my last video where I sent them 5 books from Peach Momoko. I started that, I believe, like in August or July, and I just got them right now in January. It's a whole process. So if you want your comic books right away, the gratification of having a comic book that's CGC'd now, you just have to wait. If he's at a convention, and if he gets your comic book, you usually get it back in about 2 weeks, because he's got to invoice everybody. So that takes a little bit of time. So like I said, when you go to your own local comic book store, you have the gratification of getting a comic book, looking at it, and taking it home with you. All these online services that I use, I have to wait. I have to be patient. Okay, So that being said, and another site that I found for buying comic books online on social media was Instagram. I did the whole process again. I just didn't know, exactly what I would find, but under the search button, I put in comic books. And it's a really, really great community. I'm just going to name a few that I follow and buy comic books from, but there's a lot. And you got to trust your instincts on when you buy comic books from somebody who, at the beginning, I got to be honest, they're strangers. You don't know. It's not eBay now. Okay, you're just buying it somebody individually. They bypass eBay and they just go directly to PayPal or Venmo or whichever means they want you to purchase their books from them. So you have to do your due diligence. You have to make sure they're reliable. You know, you don't want to get ripped off. I never have, and not that many people that I know of ever have gotten ripped off on buying from Facebook directly or Instagram directly. But you have to check ahead of time. Hey, can I buy from these people? Do I feel comfortable buying from people? So that being said, here's a few that I follow and I have bought comic books from in the past, and their links will be in the description below. The first one I mentioned him a couple of videos ago is Christagram99. I mean, I've talked to him on the phone. We've communicated direct messages on Instagram, and I've gotten to know him, and I trust him 100%. He's never let me down. I bought comic books from him, and he also does raffles on Instagram. Another one is Comic Sales. I just started following him. He sells comic books mostly on Thursdays, and he's based in the East Coast, and he goes on forever. Some of his raffles last about, like I said, I'm on the West Coast, so there's 3 hours difference. At 12 o'clock, every now and then he's still going. So 12 o'clock here is, and 12 o'clock midnight, he's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I went, gosh, this is guy, he's just really into it. So, and, I enjoy watching him sell books. Not that I buy every single book, but he just keeps on going and going and going. So, yeah, Comic Sales. Another one is Gazer Collects. Same scenario. I found them on Instagram. I like the way he does his sales. He does auctions. Sometimes he joins with other people. And I've bought from him in the past. And all my books have always gotten here. I've never had a problem. A lot of these people, they go through this, so they don't have to go through eBay, because eBay has so many fees. And there's another way of selling comic books. But like I said, you have to trust your instincts if you want to go that route. Let me see who else I have here that I wanted to mention. Another one is X Illusionary Comics. Now, he basically raffles books off, and so does Christagram. He does that also, and others. But X Illusionary Comics and HBK Comics. I've won from HBK Comics before. Some books where, I've mentioned raffles before. They basically put a book up for sale, $15 a square or $10 a square, depending on the book. There's 100 squares, and then when all the squares are filled up or all the rows are filled up, they do a live raffle or a raffle, and they pick a winner, and whomever wins gets that book. I've won Hulk 181, very first Deadpool, Amazing Spider-Man number 300. I've won about 4 or 5 times. I got the very first Michonne. I've mentioned that in my previous video, that I won the very first Michonne. So yeah, you take a chance on those. There's nothing, unless you win. When you win, and if you win, it's the best feeling in the world. But when you lose, I went, dang it. I should have picked that number instead, because they rolled the dice. There's all online when they choose the winner. There's a dice, and then whatever numbers it comes out up. Say if he rolls a 7, he mixes the list 7 times, and whomever's on top wins the comic book. So those, obviously, you take a chance, and I do them every now and then, and I've won about 5 or 6 times. So these are comic books that didn't cost me that much. Another one that I have found recently is Duffy Boys Comics. He's trying to get his store up and running, and he's starting to sell comic books online, recent comic books. I've communicated with him on Instagram, and I liked the way he did his video. Very easygoing, no pressure to buy these books, and I've talked to him direct messages. To me, he's a really nice person. and that's another one whom he's becoming one of my regulars on Instagram. There are so many others though, but there's so many others. Like I said, just Google comic books for sale under search, and if that's what the route you want to take, then I suggest you do it. But like I said, make sure you feel comfortable doing it. Some people do and some people don't. I myself, like I said, I hardly go to comic book stores anymore. I just do most of my buying online, and that's just the way I decided to go with it. So I hope you liked this video. I hope it gave you some ideas of the ins and outs of buying comic books online. If you have any questions, leave it below in the comments. And as always, I appreciate, like I said, whomever watches my videos. This is Ephraim from Past Point One Comics. Everybody be safe and take care.